I was holding my husband's phone when I saw it. Not snooping. He'd asked me to check his calendar while he was in the shower. The notification slid down from the top of the screen like a knife. PayPal. You sent $999 to Princess87. My thumb froze over the glass. I watched it disappear, then pulled down the notification shade with my heart suddenly loud in my ears. There it was again. And above it another. And another. Every single one for exactly $999. Every single one on a Friday. I scrolled back through his transaction history, my hands starting to shake, and counted 17 payments. 17 Fridays in a row. That was over $16,000.
Gone.
To someone called Princess87. I sat down on the edge of our bed, still holding his phone, and felt the room tilt. We'd been married for 9 years. We had a 6-year-old daughter, Emma. We lived in a modest house in Manchester that we were still paying off, and we both worked full-time just to keep our heads above water. Last month, Daniel had told me we couldn't afford the family holiday to Spain I'd been planning. He'd said we needed to be more careful with money, that his freelance graphic design work had been slow. I'd believed him. I'd canceled the booking and told Emma we'd go next year instead, watched her little face crumple, and felt like a failure of a mother. And now this. I heard the shower turn off. My mind was racing, trying to make sense of it, trying to find an innocent explanation. Maybe it was a work thing. Maybe Princess87 was a client with a ridiculous username. Maybe. But why would he hide it? Why wouldn't he mention spending £1,000 a week on anything? The bathroom door opened and Daniel walked out in his towel, water still dripping from his hair. He saw me sitting there with his phone, and his face did something strange. Not guilty exactly. Almost resigned. "Babe," he said carefully. "What are you doing?" I held up the phone. Who the hell is Princess87? The thing is, I'd always trusted Daniel completely. That sounds naive now, but it's true. We'd met at university 12 years ago, him in graphic design, me studying education, and he was this sweet, awkward guy who sketched in the margins of his notebooks and forgot to eat lunch when he was working on projects. Not the type who'd have affairs or secret lives. Not the type who'd lie. We got married young, maybe too young, but it felt right at the time. Emma came along 3 years later, and suddenly we were proper adults with a mortgage and responsibilities and this overwhelming love for this tiny human we'd created. Daniel worked from home doing freelance design. I worked at the local primary school as an administrator. Money was always tight, but we managed. We were happy. Or I thought we were. Daniel sat down beside me on the bed, and I noticed his hands were shaking slightly. "It's not what you think. You don't know what I think," I said, my voice surprisingly steady. "So, why don't you tell me what it is?" He ran a hand through his wet hair, making it stick up in all directions. Princess87 is a content creator. On OnlyFans. I've been supporting her. The words hit me like cold water. OnlyFans. I know how it sounds. Do you? I stood up, needing distance from him. Because it sounds like you've been spending our money we don't have, on porn while I'm canceling our daughter's holiday. "It's not porn," he said quietly. "It's more than that. We talk. Every day. She understands things about me, about my work, my dreams." "Your dreams?" I laughed, and it came out harsh. "Your dreams are worth £1,000 a week? You don't understand. Then make me understand." I was shouting now. "Make me understand why this stranger on the internet is worth more than your own family." Daniel's face crumpled. "She's not a stranger. Her name is Amy. She's 23. She's at university, and she's caring for her disabled mom while trying to pay for her degree. She needed help. Real help.
And
I wanted to be that person for her." I stared at him. "You're in love with her." He didn't answer, which was answer enough. Something inside me broke then. Not loudly, just a quiet snap, like a branch giving way under too much weight. I'd spent 9 years building a life with this man. I'd given him everything. And he'd fallen in love with someone else, someone he'd never even met, someone who was taking his money and his time and his emotional energy. "Get out," I said. "Please let me explain. Get out of this room. Now." He grabbed some clothes and left. I heard him go downstairs, heard the front door close. Then I sat back down on the bed, still holding his phone, and stared at the PayPal notification until the screen went dark. Emma was at my mom's for the weekend. Thank God. I couldn't have handled explaining any of this to her. I spent the rest of the day in a fog, making tea I didn't drink, staring at walls, trying to process what had just happened. When Daniel came back 3 hours later, I was sitting at the kitchen table. He looked exhausted, eyes red like he'd been crying. "Can we talk?" he asked. I gestured to the chair across from me. He sat down heavily. "I know I've betrayed you. I know what I've done is unforgivable. But I need you to understand, this was never about you not being enough. This was about me feeling needed, useful. Amy was struggling, really struggling, and I could help her in a way that made me feel important." "Important," I repeated flatly. "So, I don't make you feel important?" "That's not what I meant." "When was the last time we had a conversation about anything other than bills or Emma's school?" he continued. "When was the last time you asked about my work, really asked, not just, 'How was your day?' while you're loading the dishwasher?" The accusation hung between us. And the worst part was, he wasn't entirely wrong. We'd fallen into routines, patterns. We were partners in running a household, but maybe we'd stopped being partners in anything else. "So this is my fault," I said quietly. "No. God, no." He reached across the table, but I pulled my hand away. "I'm not blaming you. I'm trying to explain why I was vulnerable to this. Why when Amy started talking to me, really listening to me, I got attached. Attached to the tune of 16,000 pounds. He flinched. "I know. Show me the conversations," I said. "If this is so innocent, if this is just you helping someone, show me what you've been saying to her." Daniel's face went pale. "I can't. They're private." "Private," I echoed. "Right. Because you're in love with her." "I don't know what I feel anymore," he admitted, and at least he had the decency to sound miserable about it. I stood up. "I need you to sleep on the couch tonight." I can't be near you right now." He nodded and left the room without another word. I went upstairs, closed our bedroom door, and finally let myself cry. But here's what I didn't know yet, what I couldn't possibly have guessed. The identity of Princess87 would turn my entire world inside out. Because when I discovered who she really was, everything I thought I understood about this betrayal would shatter. I barely slept. By morning, I'd made a decision. I waited until Daniel was in the shower again. It felt grimly appropriate, and I took his laptop from his office. His password was Emma's birthday. Of course it was. The laptop opened easily, and I went straight to his browsing history. Page after page of OnlyFans, all for one account. Princess87. I clicked through to her profile, my stomach churning. I expected to see some young woman with bleached hair and a practiced pout, someone who looked nothing like me. Instead, I saw my sister. Not someone who resembled my sister. Not someone with similar features. My actual sister, Lauren. The profile picture was soft focus, shot in flattering light, but it was unmistakably her. Same dark hair she'd had since she was 15. Same birthmark on her left shoulder that I'd seen every summer growing up. Same lotus tattoo on her wrist from her 19th birthday. I made a sound, not quite a scream, not quite a sob. My vision went spotty around the edges. Lauren was Princess87. My baby sister, 23 years old, supposedly working retail in London while studying marketing online. My sister, who I'd shared a bedroom with for 18 years. Who I taught to ride a bike. Who called me when she needed advice about boys or money or life. She'd been taking money from my husband. My hands shook so badly, I could barely control the mouse. I scrolled through her profile, each image like a knife. Bikini photos, bedroom selfies in lingerie. Nothing explicit, but provocative enough. And her pinned post. Message me for exclusive content and real conversation. I love getting to know my supporters personally. No judgment, just connection. 2 hearts. I clicked back to the transaction history, forcing myself to look properly this time. The payments hadn't started 4 months ago like I'd thought. They'd started 18 months ago. 78 payments. £78,000. To my sister. I ran to the bathroom and vomited until there was nothing left. When I confronted Daniel, I threw the laptop at him. It missed and hit the wall, leaving a dent. You knew, I said, my voice shaking with rage. You knew it was Lauren. He looked at the laptop screen, still showing Lauren's profile, and all the color drained from his face. I can explain. You knew. From the beginning, he whispered. I recognized her. That's why I reached out. I couldn't breathe.
Why?
Why would you do this? She messaged me, he said quickly. She said she was in trouble, that she owed money to dangerous people, and she couldn't tell you or your parents. She begged me to help her. She said if I told you, it would kill you to know what she'd had to resort to. I thought I was protecting everyone. Protecting? I laughed hysterically. You bankrupted us. You've been in love with my sister for 18 months. It wasn't like that at first, he insisted. I just wanted to help her get out of debt. But then we kept talking, and she was so vulnerable, so grateful, and I don't know when it changed. Did you sleep with her? He hesitated. Just a fraction of a second, but I saw it. Did you? We met once. 3 months ago in London. But nothing happened, I swear. I slapped him. Hard. My palm stung from the impact. Get out of this house, I said. Get out and don't come back. Please. Get out. He left. I stood in the kitchen, surrounded by the ruins of my marriage, and called my sister. Lauren answered on the third ring, voice bright. Hey, I was just thinking about. I know about Princess87. Silence. I know you've been taking money from my husband. I know about the OnlyFans account. I know everything. Oh, God. Her voice cracked. Oh, God. I can explain. Then explain, I said coldly. Explain how you could do this to me. I didn't know, she cried. Not at first. His username was JD_design87. I didn't know it was Daniel until he told me months later. And by then he was already sending money, and I needed it so desperately. And I needed it for what? Your rent? Your shopping? What was worth destroying my marriage? Mom, she whispered. The word hit me like a punch. What? Mom has cancer. Had cancer. She's in remission now. But she got diagnosed 18 months ago, and she didn't want anyone to know. Especially not you. She said you were struggling enough with money and Emma, and she couldn't bear being a burden. So she swore me to secrecy, and I had to pay for her treatment. Private surgery and chemo because the NHS waitlists were too long. It cost £60,000, and I didn't have anything. I was drowning in student debt. So I started the OnlyFans account. I couldn't speak. When Daniel reached out and wanted to help, when he started sending money, I thought you knew, Lauren continued, crying now. I thought he'd told you about Mom. I was just honest about needing help for medical bills. I didn't manipulate him. I didn't seduce him. I was trying to save our mother's life. You're lying. I managed. Mom would have told me. Call her, Lauren said. Please, just call her. And that's when I learned the final, devastating truth. The one that would change everything I thought I knew about betrayal, sacrifice, and love. I called my mother with shaking hands. She answered cheerfully, asking how Emma was, and I cut her off. Did you have cancer? The cheer died instantly. Lauren told you. Is it true? A long pause. Yes, love. I'm so sorry. I didn't want you to know. Why? My voice broke. Why wouldn't you tell me? Because you couldn't afford to help, and I knew you'd try anyway. You and Daniel were barely making ends meet. I couldn't bear the thought of you going into debt for me. Lauren was the only one I told, and she insisted on handling everything. I thought she'd taken out loans. I didn't know. She trailed off. What's happened, sweetheart? I told her everything. The money, Daniel's obsession, Princess87, all of it. When I finished, Mom was quiet for a long moment. Then, that man's an idiot, but he was trying to help family. And Lauren sacrificed everything for me. Everything. Do you understand? She did things I'll never forgive myself for asking her to bear alone. She lied to me, I whispered. She protected you, Mum said gently. We both did. Maybe that was wrong, but we did it because we love you. I hung up and sat in my car, staring at nothing. Daniel hadn't been having a sordid affair. He'd been trying to save my mother's life. Lauren hadn't been scamming him. She'd been doing whatever she had to do to save our mom. But the money was still gone. The lies were still there. The emotional affair, even if unintentional, was still real. It took weeks to piece everything back together. Painful conversations, therapy, tears from everyone involved. Mom was horrified, offering to sell her house to pay us back. We refused. Lauren closed her account, saying she couldn't do it anymore. Daniel and I started counseling, trying to rebuild what had been shattered. We're still together. Barely. Some days I look at him and feel nothing but love. Other days I see him talking to Emma and remember he fell in love with my sister while trying to be a hero. We took out a loan to cover some of the money. We still can't afford holidays. Emma still asks why we never do anything fun. But Mom is alive, in remission, and maybe that's what matters. Here's what I learned. Families keep secrets thinking they're protection, but secrets always cost something. Daniel thought he was being noble. Lauren thought she was being selfless. Mom thought she was sparing us pain. We were all wrong. Late at night, when Daniel's asleep beside me, I still look at our bank statements and see those payments. $999. $999. $999. Princess87. And I wonder if we'll ever really be okay. But I also wonder if those payments revealed truths we needed to face. About our marriage. About sacrifice. About the complicated, messy ways we love each other. When people ask how we're doing, I smile and say fine. Because what else do you say? That your husband fell in love with your sister's online persona while trying to save your mother? That your family imploded over digital payments and medical secrets? So I say we're fine. And maybe someday that'll be true. But if you take anything from my story, it's this. Talk to the people you love. Don't protect them with silence. And if something feels wrong in your relationship, trust that instinct. Because what you don't know really can destroy you. And sometimes, even when everyone has good intentions, the damage is already done. The truth is, some fractures never fully heal. They just become a part of who we are. If this story stayed with you, let me know your perspective down in the comments. It helps our channel grow more than you know. If you haven't already, planting yourself by the telling tree by hitting that subscribe button means you won't miss our next story. If you know someone who would be captivated by this, please share it. Thank you for your time and attention.